FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
So my art practice has focused on sculpture and installation projects, working also with video, photography, some drawing, and they've been traditionally gallery-presented works. But the work that I'll be showing at Yerba Buena is a project that loosely deals with issues of black marketing, counterfeiting, globalization, the crafting community, and labor issues. And it was kind of a challenge to try to put those things together in a project that seemed both fun and interesting and wound up being a collaborative. Here I'm just showing images of a sweatshop factory on the left, and then an image of someone confiscating designer handbags in Thailand. So what happened was in 2006, I started an online website called the Counterfeit Crochet Project, in which I solicited people from the crafting community who created a huge online kind of DIY group where folks would share tips on how to, crochet pot holders or, really wonderful little shawls. And what I was doing was trying to get these folks to actually join me in bootlegging and counterfeiting designer goods. So the homepage features some images from other makers of bootleg Burberry scarves, Louis Vuitton Murakami handbags, and Chanel purses. And I was kind of surprised that the project actually took off. Like, I don't really have much access to this crafting community. I was also interested in working with folks who don't ordinarily consider themselves fine artists, but are really involved in issues of making. Granted, the crafting community also relies on a lot of sort of leisure time, and I thought it was interesting that with manufacturing and outsourcing, most of the labor is hidden and kind of pushed away into factory work. So, with this kind of domestic practice of crocheting, I thought it would be really fun to kind of bring back a dialogue of contemporary manufacturing. So this is one of the examples. I pushed some examples of how to start. Choose an image of an original designer bag, straight from the internet or fashion magazines, Gucci, Chanel, Prada, etc., so you can do your own approximation of it in crochet. And I wound up getting back a lot of submissions. It was amazing how the crafting community just kind of latched onto this project. And I was encouraging folks to, based on a small little image that they would find on the internet of a designer bag that they particularly liked, that they would execute it in crochet to the best of their ability. And I chose crochet because it was, it's a really kind of fairly easy craft. I think it's easier than knitting, which I think is too straight and gridded out. Crochet to me is more of like a craft anarchy project. So this particular one is Diana, based in Portland, Oregon, and her crocheted Dior handbag. Carrie, based in Ohio, made a really wonderful Dior bucket bag. The original image is in the bottom right-hand corner, and then she also meticulously crocheted the logo. I encourage the makers to also take photographs of themselves wearing the bag, but then either black out their eyes, myself, or ask them to put sunglasses on, because essentially what they're doing is, bootlegging, which is a really bad thing. And some staged really elaborate fashion shoots of themselves with the bag. So this is Nicole's and her Dolce & Gabbana in Memphis, Tennessee. This is Katie F's Louis Vuitton Murakami Papillon bag. And there she is visiting the Louis Vuitton store. Jenny's Burberry scarf. This is work in progress. And Wendy Wise Fendi in Michigan. So as a way to kind of talk about desire and fashion and high and low, I thought this was really interesting. I've actually been very hesitant to even consider or identify this as an art project, because in a way, as the organizer of it, I really see it more as a collaboration. I mean, I'm asking folks to join up in this project, and I want to make sure that they also get as much of the attention paid to their efforts and interest in the project. This is Kat's Louis Vuitton belt in Tokyo, Japan. Angela's Marc Jacobs bag, San Francisco, California. And the translations have been really interesting, or the mistranslations, and that's part of the beauty of it, I think, is this attempt at this kind of perfection, or this high-end object. And I've been lucky enough that last year, 2007, the Counterfeit Crochet Project traveled to 3 international cities as part of exhibitions on forgeries and counterfeiting. This particular installation was set up at Universal Studios Gallery in Beijing, China. And Beijing was a really interesting context for the exhibition because as the home of counterfeiting deluxe, a lot of the gallery visitors were really confused by this work. And then it also traveled to Manila, Philippines as part of an exhibition called Galleon Trade on globalization and cross-cultural connections. But this particular image shows counterfeiting workshops being held at Garanti Gallery in Istanbul as part of the exhibition Hackers and Haute Couture Heretics. So I stayed there for a week just teaching people both how to crochet and just trying to engage them in issues or dialogues of black marketing and counterfeiting. I also created downloadable counterfeiting instructions, so if you go to the website, you can try your hand at these things. And lastly, so counterfeitcrochet.org, and sort of like a final goodbye to wrap things up, the FU mitten /Goldfinger. Great.